Now Jiang realized that the undead tyrant was exceedingly fast, and each of its attacks was equally powerful. The tyrant hoisted its mace from the ground, gaining momentum. For Jiang, it resembled a raging bull that had lost control, yet this also signified a vulnerability. Little Nine attempted to assail the undead tyrant with her sharp tentacles, but it began to spin its body at high velocity, evading them with ease. As it gained momentum, it swiftly closed in on Jiang. After several seconds, it executed a massive leap. Jiang raised his head to face the undead tyrant, and while observing it intently, he realized the situation was dire. He had already detected numerous hidden roots beneath the ground. While airborne, the undead tyrant seized the mace with both hands and, as it rapidly approached Jiang, readied itself for an attack. Jiang, watching it draw nearer, decided to utilize his talent at the precise moment it was close enough to halt its advance. Moments later, as the tyrant neared, Jiang began to scream. Fixing his gaze upon it, he knew this was the critical moment. He extended his hand toward the ground, and a green symbol materialized. Harnessing his talent, the spiritual roots concealed beneath the surface started to surface. Jiang pivoted toward the undead tyrant, giving it a lethal glare, and stretched out his hand. In seconds, 4 spiritual roots burst forth from the earth, impaling the tyrant and suspending it mid-air, immobilizing it. With his hand outstretched, Jiang exuded a formidable aura. He turned to Little Nine and signaled that it was her turn. In an instant, Little Nine was upon the tyrant. She placed one hand on its head and with the other preparing her claws, gave it a murderous look and acknowledged Jiang with an "understood, master." Realizing Little Nine was poised to strike, the tyrant's expression shifted dramatically as it sensed impending doom. It attempted to defend itself, but to no avail. Before it could react, Little Nine surged forward and launched her attack. The tyrant's corpse plummeted to the ground, while Jiang, hand still raised to the sky, commanded the spiritual roots. He gazed upon the tyrant's remains with a sense of pride. He had triumphed over the undead tyrant. Jiang's prowess was affirmed. As long as he wielded his skills adeptly, he would continue to be a formidable force in battle. Engrossed in his thoughts, a system notification emerged, indicating that the growth acceleration was on cooldown for 8 hours. Consequently, the spiritual roots began to recede gradually. Shortly after, the core surfaced from the tyrant's remains. Upon its appearance, Jiang resolved to destroy it immediately. Just as the core was about to escape, Jiang approached and seized it. Clenching his fist, he shattered the core, and its fragments drifted to the ground. Jiang eyed his fist with a fierce determination, convinced that this marked the end. At that moment, a series of system notifications congratulated Jiang for conquering the C-rank secret realm known as the Temple of the Undead. The system commenced contribution assessment and, within seconds, produced the secret realm score. Jiang Chen, a level 0 spiritual master, achieved an S rating in this realm. Wang Yi, a level 12 swordsman, received a B rating. Jiang Chen, also a level 12 swordsman, earned a B rating. Liu Ying, a level 11 warlock, secured an A rating. Yi Qin, a level 10 boxer, garnered a B rating. The heavenly system initiated the generation of team rewards, prompting a window to materialize before Jiang. Moments later, the system successfully dispensed the team rewards, elongating the window. Jiang was presented with a selection of weapons. The first was a dagger, followed by a scepter, a heavy axe, a light axe, and lastly, a sword. As the spiritual roots retreated into the earth, Jiang fixated on the system window, lost in contemplation. He reached into the window and retrieved the dagger. Upon extracting the dagger from the system, its specifications were revealed. It was Edmu's Swift Dagger, a D-ranked weapon bestowing 50 attack points and a 5% speed enhancement on its wielder. This dagger bore an affinity with swords and conferred 2 professional attributes. Jiang grasped the dagger, inspecting the blade, and deemed it a worthy offering for Uncle Wang. He glanced sideways at the system window, pondering the abundance of equipment. It dawned on him that all the gear was tailored for combat. Uncertain if anything was apt for the creation classes. He approached the window, delved into the system, and resolved to scrutinize each item's attributes. He extracted a hammer from the window, and upon its release, it struck the ground with a thud. It was a hefty weapon. Named Call of the King, it endowed the bearer with 100 strength points while subtracting 100 agility points due to its heft. The hammer's unique trait was a 10% probability of inflicting quintuple critical damage. As Jiang endeavored to lift the hammer, he experienced a novel sensation. A notification window appeared, informing Jiang that he was being rewarded with experience points. Realizing this, he quickly understood that the system was crediting him with the experience gained from this secret weapon. The hammer was quite heavy, but with the newly acquired experience, Jiang found himself gradually able to lift it. Within seconds, he could hoist the hammer effortlessly. Another system notification announced that the United ability was now active, boosting all of Jiang's attributes by 20%. Surrounded by a potent energy and lifting the hammer with one hand, Jiang casually placed his other hand in his pocket and turned his attention towards the hammer, marveling at his newfound strength. Having reached level 6, the effects of the United ability became even more pronounced. He also noticed an increase in his physical combat prowess corresponding with his level. Lost in thought, Little Nine approached him, tugging at his shirt to capture his attention. Roused by her voice, Jiang emerged from his reverie. She gestured towards the system window, inquiring if she could consume all the items as a reward. Setting the hammer down, Jiang looked into her eyes, contemplating for a moment. He explained that Little Nine couldn't consume the equipment, as it was intended for Uncle Wang and the others to sell for money. He added that if Little Nine were to eat it, she would likely suffer a stomachache. Hearing this, she placed a hand behind her back and, with a touch to her lips, gave Jiang a forlorn look. Then, turning towards the undead tyrant's remains, she questioned whether she could devour it instead. Jiang had momentarily forgotten about the boss's remains, not realizing the value of devouring them. As his aura intensified, he granted Little Nine permission to consume the corpse, as it was rightfully hers. Without a moment's hesitation, Little Nine approached the massive remains of the undead tyrant. Jiang observed the corpse, pondering if the boss was perhaps too large. Given its size, if Little Nine were to use her poisonous mist to dissolve it, the process could be lengthy. Little Nine spread her arms wide, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth. Her body began to tremble, and within seconds, she reverted to her natural form. In her true form, she eyed the corpse with a predatory glare, opened her mouth wide, and advanced. Despite the undead tyrant's massive size compared to the mother insect's natural form, it seemed insignificant. Witnessing her transformation to consume the corpse, Jiang felt a mix of awe and fear. She lunged forward, her mouth agape, and let out a deafening roar. As she devoured the corpse, a fierce wind whipped up around them. Jiang seized the opportunity to remove all the equipment from the system window. Clutching the hammer in one hand, he shielded his face with the other. Little Nine's roar was thunderous, but fortunately, they were secluded in the secret realm. Had they been in the main city, their presence would have been detected regardless of their efforts to conceal it. After she finished her feast, the system awarded Jiang 400 devouring points. Shielding his face, Jiang noted the rapid increase in his devouring value. He realized that the boss's flesh was indeed of superior value. To enhance the devouring value further, they would need to consume more boss-type monsters. As he pondered this, footsteps approached. Hearing the approaching steps, Jiang swiftly turned and clenched his teeth, realizing that Uncle Wang and the others were drowned by the noise Little Nine had created. The devouring value had now increased to 8,876 points. Jiang urged Little Nine to revert to her alternate form quickly. With a smile, she complied, responding with an understood master. For Jiang, it was regrettable that the devouring value was not yet fully accumulated. Shortly after, Uncle Wang and the others arrived. Seeing the equipment scattered on the ground, they recognized Jiang's victory. Jiang confessed to Uncle Wang that he had broken his sword but offered the dagger as compensation. Without hesitation, Uncle Wang accepted the dagger. Upon realizing its rarity, he assured Jiang that he would not hold him accountable for the damaged equipment. SAUCEsy approached Jiang, mentioning that the necklace was also a valuable item that could fetch a considerable sum. Yiqiang queried how Jiang had managed to defeat the boss solo, With a hand behind his head, Jiang responded that his poison seemed particularly effective against such monsters. After his explanation, he began to look there at the ground. And now the secret realm had been perfectly cleared. It would not refresh again. Securing the devouring value from another boss should suffice to commence the breeding of the insect swarm. If Jiang sought a new boss, the desert was his only option. Uncle Wang regarded Jiang and lamented his decision to join the research department. Despite not being level 1, Jiang had already vanquished a boss monster. Uncle Wang predicted that with leveling up, Jiang's strength would be formidable. He then inquired about Jiang's current plans. Jiang, turning towards him, smiled and shared that he had withheld his intentions to avoid causing worry. In truth, he was preparing to join the Night's Watch. Uncle Wang, taken aback, questioned if Jiang truly planned to join the Night Watch. Jiang, hand atop his head, affirmed his intention. He disclosed his departure for the Night Watch in 3 days, intending to level up in the wilderness beforehand. Uncle Wang was stunned by the revelation. Yi Chang, hand to the ground, expressed disbelief at Jiang's perilous undertaking. SAUCEsy extended her hand towards Jiang, her gaze serious, warning of the wilderness's dangers. Jiang interrupted her, clenching his fist and summoning Little Nine's poisonous mists. He reassured SAUCEsy, asking her to focus her concern on the monsters instead. Later that day, Jiang boarded a train to the city outskirts. The conductor directed those venturing into the wilderness to disembark. Jiang alighted, cloaked to avoid notice. He paused, surveying a bridge crowded with awakeners. Post-awakening, Jiang's appetite had surged. Astonishingly, even without stability, his devouring value increased slightly with eating. He consumed a loaf of bread, his devouring value incrementing by 2. Little Nine appeared, hand to mouth, critiquing the bread's taste. Jiang resolved to procure tastier fare for Little Nine, conjuring a map with a gesture. He perused the map alongside Little Nine. Uncle Wang's generosity had been unexpected, providing not only the map, but also a vital storage ring before Jiang's desert journey. These items proved invaluable to Jiang. He traversed the bridge, mindful of Uncle Wang's counsel. The wilderness, under the Heavenly Way's influence, rendered electronic devices useless. It resembled an apocalyptic landscape, with monsters perpetually migrating. The maps, with their brief lifespan, made locating monster groups, especially bosses, challenging. Common creatures like the firebird and thunder rhinoceros were identifiable by their movements. A marked location with a question mark denoted a perilous nest, best avoided. Uncle Wang suggested the Goblin Dungeon as an ideal target for Jiang, given its lower level, ample monsters, and sparse human presence. Map in hand, Jiang resolved to proceed, confident in his swift discovery. As he pondered, a voice halted him. Jiang spun around, alert. A cloaked figure accosted him, demanding why Jiang had ignored his calls. The stranger sought information about a golden-haired girl. Jiang, with a threatening demeanor, denied seeing her and cautioned the man. Suddenly, Little Nine's poison clung to the man's hand, prompting his retreat. The man, examining his hand, speculated about the substance. Despite Jiang's apparent low level, the man, a level 27 main defense warrior, felt vulnerable to the poison. Jiang, turning away, suggested the man seek a healer for the potent toxin. He also says to him to take care of his brain. After saying this, he bid his farewell to the man, and the man, unable to contain his anger, called out to Jiang, questioning if he had been granted permission to depart. Upon hearing this, Jiang turned and fixed the man with a lethal glare. The man stepped closer to Jiang, radiating a formidable aura, and with a menacing look, demanded to know how Jiang dared to cross the Zhao family. Jiang, upon hearing this, began to question if the man was indeed referring to the Zhao family. He contemplated the implications of the Zhao family's departure from their home and the subsequent handover of the house to the Zhao family in the Battle of Heaven.